Welcome to the STRIVECast.
Jeff, what episode are we on?
Season 2, episode 22.
Episode 2. Yeah.
Yay!
Let's go. All right.
Hey,
What are we going to talk about today, guys? What are we going to do in this show of ours?
my pop culture
Culture with NPT.
and possums.
Awesome.
Let's
Susie.
talk about Susie's cues.
About possums.
Can
Jeff,
we do some cues right now?
After our interview.
Oh, our friend John Keeley is joining us to talk about Air Force One. I have a feeling we're going to learn a lot from John Keeley, like we always do. And
Thanks
Alex
for that
is
one.
a special guest today.
We're going to be talking to Sam.
Damn.
Yay, Sam.
All right.
Wow. Gracie,
Oh.
Sam.
Do you think we should just get right to it?
Yeah, let's get busy.
All right. Jeff,
Get down, get funky.
break.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to the STRIVECast. You tell us about work as a doctor.
Sure. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here at the STRIVECast. I work as a family doctor, so I get to meet people at any age, sometimes just hours old or days old. Sometimes they're much older, and I get to know folks, understand what's important to them, and help them be the healthiest, best versions of themselves they can be. So that's how I see my job as a family doctor.
He does. He came to my house and he talks to me and my mom and my dad, and they say love things with me, and he always do my things too, like coming here to see, support everyone, like Jeff.
And speaking of Jeff, he's got the next question.
No.
Yep.
Ryan, Whitney, Alex,
Hey, Susie,
everyone.
Susie, we're going to let Jeff ask the next question, okay?
Right.
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 Go ahead, Jeff.
What is your average day look for you?
Well, I should first say that I have a couple of jobs. So my average day depends on what day it is. I work as a state representative, and so it is I'm one of the people that is elected to go to Augusta, our state capital, to try to make good decisions for the state. So a typical day for me, if I'm doing more of the doctoring thing, like this Friday, I will arrive, I'll get up and run to work. I only live about 3 miles away, and so I run to work and I take a shower there, and I get dressed and I see my first patient at 7:30 in the morning. I do a variety of things. Sometimes what I do is I'll listen to people and we'll just talk. Sometimes I'll make prescriptions for medications and manage and follow along to see what changes might need to be made. Sometimes I do procedures, like in the office, there might be a procedure or minor surgery that needs to happen. So I'll do that. And I essentially do those things until about 6 o'clock. So from 7:30 in the morning to
Wow.
6 o'clock. And then I get changed and run home. And then I get to have dinner with my family. I have my wife and I have two daughters, one of whom is 14 and the other is 12. And then, you know, in the evenings, there's, if it's not a weekend, like a Friday night, then I'll be probably have work to do, emails, messages to catch up on. If it's a legislative day, like today, for instance, you know, we'll get up and run with the dogs. We have two dogs and they love to run. And so do I. So I'll take them for a run, come back, get ready for the day. We'll have, if we're lucky, fortunate, we'll have breakfast together as a family. And then I get on Zoom. I get on Zoom for many hours of the day. Yesterday, it was, we went until 6:30 or so at night. Because there's a lot of important issues that need to be discussed, and it's very important that we listen to people, members of the public, when we're considering a question or an idea. Anyone listening here is welcome to testify, by the way, and you can work with folks in Strive or reach out to me, and I can certainly help you have your voice be heard. So we have hearings or we have discussions we call work sessions, and we sometimes we get together in a big room in the State House in Augusta, which you all are of course welcome to visit because it's the people's house. It's owned and by the people of the state of Maine, and sometimes we get into a big room called the House Chamber and we discuss ideas further and we make votes, and it can be sometimes very ceremonial and other times very consequential or important to what happens in people's lives.
Wow. That is so cool.
What a schedule, huh, guys?
Yes.
Noel, we're back to you.
Okay. It is second one. Oh, what is your favorite part of your job?
I love getting to know people. I love listening to people, hearing their stories, understanding what's important to them, who are the people that are important to them, what aspirations they have, where do they want to be in 5 years and 10 years. So those are my favorite things about both jobs, really, because both being a doctor and being a legislator or representative involve a lot of listening and understanding where people are coming from.
Wow.
What is the hardest part of your job?
Ooh, it is really hard. Well, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of suffering in the world. And part of, what I do in both my worlds is I try to help make the world better. And in order to make the world better, we have to understand what's wrong with the way things currently are. Because we're always trying to become a better state, become better versions of ourselves as people, I hope. And so sometimes the process of figuring out where can we be better involves people sharing things that are difficult. And that is difficult to bear witness to. That's difficult to hear, but it's also part of the service that we do. It's part of what doctors do, is to bear witness, to listen to and take on some of the struggles that people have.
Pretty thoughtful answer, huh, guys?
Yes.
And what is something you are looking forward to do?
This year? No. So this summer, my family is going up to Mount Desert Island. We like to stay in Southwest Harbor, and we are going to spend a week there. my parents, who have live for part of the year on a boat, they are going to be sailing up to Mountain Desert Island, and we're going to spend a week together, which is going to be great. Beautiful, beautiful place to be, and it's a real lucky thing to get to spend time with loved ones.
Nice to look forward to when it's like 5 degrees outside today too.
Yeah.
That is-
Jeff,
Yes, Pete.
you're up.
Okay, what is one thing you wish everyone know about the work you do?
Jeff, I think that sometimes I discover that people don't realize or don't often think about how we, doctors or legislators are people too. We have things that we are vulnerable about or have have fear about. We make mistakes. We struggle sometimes to understand things. And so I think that people often are drawn to jobs because it's a form of service. Teachers, my wife went into teaching because of that. Social workers, members of the clergy, people who are involved in all sorts of community services, organizations. I see what I do as in all parts of my life, in public, certainly as forms of service. But I guess I wish that people understood that we're all doing the best we can. And that we sometimes get angry messages from people who assume that we're trying to do harm. But people sometimes come to the doctor's office and say that ask why can't this be different? And I like to think of myself as somebody who's a partner in trying to get to a better place together.
Great. I think that's something we could all strive to do.
Yeah.
Yes, we should.
Well, and on a much lighter note, what is it time for now, guys?
The lightning round.
Lightning round, okay.
The lightning round. Okay.
Ready for this?
Unrehearsed questions.
Yeah.
I think Sam is so excited.
So Jeff, you always kick off lightning round. Go ahead.
Okay, Pete. What is your favorite place in Maine?
Well, I certainly like Mount Desert Island, but I also like lots of places in Portland. Often run in Baxter Woods, which is a beautiful little park. It's actually not far. Susie, I know you're not too far from that, but
Right.
it's a beautiful place to feel like you're in the woods when you're actually in the middle of a city.
True of that. He's
Noel.
right on that.
Okay. What is your favorite grocery store?
I go to many of them. I think rather than give a name, I'll say that I like a grocery store that makes me feel like I'm in that grocery store, as opposed to a place that could be in any state in America.
Okay. Susie?
Well, Sam, what is your favorite park or your favorite river?
Favorite park or river?
For river?
Yeah.
I have, I guess I will say, So I have very fond memories of rowing on a river called the Thames River, which is in England. I used to be in the Navy, and for 2 years was stationed in England. I worked at the embassy there and did some other things. I was on a rowing team, and I got to row on with eight others on the Thames River. It was actually a part of the Thames, but it's a very historic river. And so, as somebody who loves history, I just enjoyed being in those waters that have flowed for so long and had so much written about them.
Very cool.
Wow.
I know I've got one job and it's keep track, and I've lost track, but I think
Yes.
we're back to
Back to
Jeff.
Jeff. Yeah.
Yes.
What is your favorite food?
I love sushi.
Oh, that scores points with Jeff. He also loves sushi.
How
I
did
like
you know that when you asked the
sushi
question?
Also,
What's your favorite sushi flavor or sushi variety?
I think it's I think here.
Hard one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually probably like salmon
Mhm.
and maybe like and tuna, but I like different kinds.
There's a lot to enjoy, isn't it? Those are two of my favorites too.
mine.
For 4 years, I was stationed in the Pacific Northwest, in the Seattle area, and they have lots of different kinds of salmon. So if you, that's how that's actually where I kind of fell in love with sushi myself.
My favorite sushi roll is vegetable roll.
The vegetable roll.
Yep,
Nice.
with avocados in it.
Yum.
Did he say something about Seattle?
Yes, sir.
What part in Seattle?
Well, do you know? Two places near Seattle. One was called Bremerton.
Ah,
It's across the Puget Sound from Seattle, there's a Navy base there. And then my wife and I also lived on an island called Bainbridge Island,
oh,
which is kind of in the middle of the Puget Sound. And you know what? When we would go to work, for the time when we worked in Seattle, or when we went to the University of Washington, as we both did programs there, we would commute by ferry. Every day we would take the ferry to work or to school, which was a lot of fun because sometimes there would be orca whales that were swimming along the ferry boat, and other times you could just look out at Mount Rainier.
Mhm.
Wow. That'd be pretty cool, huh, guys?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And Ryan gets the honors of our famous last question.
Tell us your best joke.
Okay, so I actually been trying to think of like what would be a good joke, and I'll tell a Maine-based joke.
Oh.
Okay,
Right.
so you may know, especially if you're a sports fan, that the University of Maine mascot is a black bear.
Right.
Turns out that the black bear has a name. Black bear's named Bananas, and has been for over 100 years. So Bananas is a really special bear. Bananas can talk. Sometimes people forget that Bananas a bear and not actually a person. So one day Bananas goes into a restaurant and goes up to the counter to order, and looks at the menu and said, "Yeah, can I have a grilled cheese?" The woman behind the counter said, "Sure, Bananas, but why the big paws?" Bananas looked at her and raised his arm and said, "Because I'm a bear."
Yep.
That's pretty
Your
good.
video just froze for a minute.
I got one question.
Oh.
Other rapid
Go ahead.
question.
Go ahead. My
Okay.
mistake.
It says, who would you like to have dinner with you?
Ooh.
Who would I like to have dinner with? Aside from my wife? You mean like anyone in history or anyone who's alive today?
Anybody.
Well, that's a very difficult question to answer. But I just finished a book about Queen Elizabeth I, who lived like 500 years ago. She was Queen of England at a time when there were very few women in power. And she was the head of like one of the most powerful countries in the world at the time. And I have become a huge fan of Queen Elizabeth I. And so I guess if I could bend the rules of time and space and have dinner with her, that would be an incredible privilege, and I'm sure I would learn a lot.
Very good.
Wow.
We really appreciate you taking the time with us today. And Jeff, would you like to take us to break?
Yes, Pete. We'll be right back.
STRIVECast is brought to you by.
Your ad.
Your ad is right here.
Right
Right.
here.
And Jeff, it's March Madness. What's the special we've got?
$4.
$4.
$4.
Wow.
Or
It has dropped since our production.
Nice.
meeting.
No. I said I 5.
$4 or $5. Name your
Yeah.
price. It's madness right here on the STRIVEcast. All right. Jeff, how do they do it?
You can actually go to our website and if you see the $5 or $4, you just send it to Pete and
There you go.
I'll be with that.
That's right. Or
I was
email
playing
us
charades up in the corner there.
at STRIVEcast@pslstrive.org.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Great. Want to take us to break?
Yes, Pete. We'll be right back.
Welcome, John Keeley. Welcome, John Keeley.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, John.
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Time for fun facts with John Keeley.
Yep.
Yep.
Take it away.
All right, I'll be talking to you about the President's Plane Air Force One. Here goes. Air Force One is technically a call sign, although we think of Air Force One as referring to the planes themselves. It is technically a radio call name for any plane on which the President of the United States of America travels. So Air Force One is simply the plane flying the President. There are 2 Air Force One planes. Although it is Air Force One, the military has 2 planes that are designed as the official planes for presidential travel under the call sign Air Force One. The 2 planes serving in the Air Force One fleet today have been in service since 1990, and one of them is always ready to fly. There's a mobile command center. Presidents have a mobile command center at their disposal on the Air Force One aircraft. The onboard electronics are hardened to protect the president from an electromagnetic pulse, and the plane is equipped with advanced secure communications equipment. in the event of an attack on the United States, the president would have everything needed to respond. There's also an Air Force Two. Air Force One isn't the only official fleet for carrying the important people in our government. Air Force Two is the radio call sign for the plane the vice president is using. Typically, the vice president flies on a C-32A, a military plane similar to a Boeing 757. There's a Marine One, too. The president doesn't always fly on airplanes. Sometimes he takes a helicopter. Marine One is the radio call sign for a Marine Corps helicopter transporting the president. There's also a doctor on board Air Force One. What happens if there's a medical emergency on board the plane? The president and White House staff would be in luck. The Air Force One planes include a medical suite that can even function as an operating room, and there is always a doctor on board. It can seat 70 people. The president never needs to worry about flying alone. Air Force One can seat up to 70 people, which typically includes the president's senior advisors, Secret Service officers, reporters from various media outlets, and other guests who may be accompanying the president. Air Force One can stay in the air indefinitely. You might remember that dramatic refueling scene in Air Force One, the movie, but it's actually true. These planes can be refueled in midair, though the maneuver is typically reserved for emergency situations. A fuel plane would arrive and hover overhead to refuel Air Force One, which has a refueling probe on the aircraft's nose. Refueling mid-air could keep the president in the air indefinitely if there is an unsafe situation on the ground. Now let's see. Page 5. Air Force One has 3 floors. Air Force One is a large airplane. Not only does it have 3 levels and a whopping 4,000 square feet of floor space, but the president can enjoy an extensive suite that includes a large office, gym, a bathroom, and a shower, and a conference room. Now, does anybody have any questions?
What is Air Force One called when the president is not on board?
It's called Special Air Missions 28,000 or 29,000.
Good question, Noel. Jeff, do you have one?
Air Force One on radar.
It would be a major risk to see the plane on radar. For security reasons, it uses a highly sophisticated tracking system not picked up on regular radar.
That's pretty cool.
How much does it cost to fly on Air Force One?
It cost $250,000 an hour to operate.
Wow.
A trip to Europe would cost approximately $3 million just to cover the plane ride.
Wow.
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 First class.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I certainly learned a lot today.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have any other questions about Air Force One?
No.
But the Air Force One shoes. But
Yeah, there are. Yep. Nikes.
There are Air Force One shoes.
Yep.
Wow.
Nike brand.
Mm-hmm.
All right. John, thanks again for educating us and our audience, and cool topic this month.
You're welcome.
All right. Good to
Thanks,
see you.
John.
Jeff, you wanna take us to break?
John.
Jeff, you wanna take us to break?
Bye.
Bye, buddy.
Jeff, would you like to take us to break?
We'll be right back.
Susie cute. Susie cute. Everyone likes Susie cute. Been what? Been what? Oh yeah. Okay. Today's game is possums.
Awesome.
Would you like me to go over the scores?
Of
Yeah.
course, girl. Go
Yes,
ahead.
Whitney, yes.
All right.
No, Whitney, no.
Alex, I liked your little emoji.
Yes.
All right, everybody. So in sixth place points is Jeff.
Better.
In fifth place with 43 points is Susie. In fourth place with 51 points is Pete. In third place,
Oh.
6 points is Noel.
Yeah.
In second place with 66 points is Ryan.
Yeah.
With quite a lead in first place with 91 points is
Alex.
All right, so let's see how things move today.
Yeah.
Possums are very active,
Aggressive.
aggressive.
So true or false? Possums are very aggressive. And we will start with Susie.
I would think. True.
True. Alex,
I think false.
Noel,
False.
Jeff.
Whitney, I'm gonna say true.
True. Ryan
False.
and Pete.
False.
False. For those of you that said false, you are correct. Possums literally play dead in the face of danger and will never been the most threatening foe. So points for Alex, Noel, Ryan, and Pete.
Which is good because they're pretty scary looking. They have really sharp teeth. but
They are
don't
scary.
mess
And
with
that
them.
long, yucky tail.
Ew. Dude, don't do that.
All right, Q2.
One day, a long time ago, we had a possum walk right up to the front steps of Strive, right up to the door by Alex's office.
It's an animal. Told
Couldn't
you.
believe it.
Well, yeah. Come on, you two. Stop talking about possums here.
That's what the whole game's about.
All right.
Yeah, I know
All
that.
right, number 2, question 2.
Possums should always be involved because they are often carry rabbits.
So true or false? Possums should always be avoided because they often carry rabies.
Hmm.
And we will
Rabies.
start, we will go backwards
Rabies.
to Pete.
I will say true, Whitney. Lock it in.
True. Locked in. Ryan.
True.
Jeff.
I'm gonna say true, Whitney, same as Pete.
Noel.
Me too.
True. Alex.
I'm gonna stick with true.
And Susie.
Pause.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh,
Only
guys.
only got one.
Should have gone with Susie because the answer is false. Possums
Nice, Susie.
immune
Nice.
to rabies as their body temperature is too low to treat the
Uh,
Oh, wow.
You're an unbiased answer, Susie.
that was supposed to be my. I was gonna pick that, but I
Too late
didn't.
now.
Waiting on
Me-
just because
me
the rest
too,
of us all
Noel.
said true.
You wait for that one right now.
I was also going to get the bonus question right the last 3 weeks in a row. and I didn't.
All right, Susie, number 3.
Number 3. One possum will eat thousands of ticks every week.
So true or false? one possum will eat thousands of ticks every week? Alex.
I'm gonna go with true.
True. Susie?
False.
False. Jeff?
Wendy, I'm gonna say true.
Noel?
True.
Ryan?
True.
I'll stay with the boys. I'll say true.
All right, good thing. I'm sorry, Susie, but the answer is true.
Darn it.
There is no information about that question because the next question will help with that.
Ooh, teaser by Whitney.
Thank you, producer Whitney.
You're welcome, producer Susie.
Very polite crowd today.
Can you folks guess how many thousands of ticks in a average of possums eat in a week? A hint is between, it's a number between 1 and 10.
So can you guess how many thousands of ticks the average possum eats in a week? And it is a number between 1 and 10. We will review the rules. Correct answer, 10 points.
Yeah,
Closest
50 points.
going over is 5.
you say that right. Yeah.
And if it's a tie, we split.
Kaboom. Yes.
All right, so give me
Is
an
this in
answer.
the summer or the winter?
Unclear.
I protest.
All right,
Uh,
we are going to start with Noel. Noel, give me a number between 1 and 10. Is that
Two.
Jeff?
Wendy, I'm gonna say 3.
3.
You guys are doing it good.
Ryan?
5.
Pete?
I'll go 4.
Alex?
Say 4, but now I don't want to say 4. I'm gonna say 6.
6. And Susie?
7.
7. Well, I'm sorry, Alex. You should have said 4 because
Oh!
they eat 4,000 ticks a week, and they're also not susceptible to Lyme disease, so they are best left alone to do anything.
Yes.
10 points for Pete.
Wow.
Boom.
Good job.
Finally.
75.
All right, let me do some calculating. Alex, I don't think you have to worry about still being.
Come on, Whit. Don't rain on my parade.
You don't win.
Hey,
on
I'm trying to get out
this
of 5th place here,
parade.
guys.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Susie Q's. Susie Q's. Everyone like Susie Q.
Possums edition.
Yeah. Kaboom. Oh yeah. Oh, it's the
Kaboom.
dynamite. Oh yeah.
All right, are we ready for a recap?
Go
You
right
can
ahead.
do it, girl.
So, a
please.
little bit of movement this week.
Finally.
In 6th place, we have Jeff with 40 points. In 5th place, we have Susie with 44 points. In 4th place, we have Noel with 58 points. Pete has moved to 3rd place with 63 points.
Woo. Big day.
Ryan in 2nd place with 68 points. And Alex still in the lead with 93.
Oof.
Wow.
We can sign off here and then we'll talk about that. Jeff, want to bring us a break?
Yes, Pete. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Pop Culture with Noel.
Pop culture with Noel. Here we go.
Okay, so what's hot this evening? And the the day after tomorrow. Can't wait. Exciting. It's gonna be on Netflix. Season 2, episode 1. Noah, I think couple Noah. Dino Fury. Power Rangers. Can't wait.
Ah, it all comes back to Power Rangers. So Wednesday night, March 3rd. No, wait, Thursday.
Yep.
Thursday the 3rd.
To find some other sporks or space sporks.
Sporks?
Yeah,
Like a
that what you
spoon
said?
fork combination.
yeah.
What's a spork?
It's like a evil creature monster thing, like little pink purple eggs. They pop out
Hmm.
and
I
just
thought it was like that little guy in like the last Toy Story.
Forky.
Sporky. I think
And-
that Jeff is probably excited for that Power Rangers to come out too.
Yep.
Jeff's chasing sporks every day.
I think
Yes, Pete, that is correct.
going down.
And Cobra
Next
Kai
week.
season 5 is coming out soon.
Cobra Kai season 5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got for us, Mr. Pop Culture?
That's it.
That's it for this week? Okay. Great. Do you have a theme song or anything, or are we good?
Oh yes. God bless. Da 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 da. Ba, 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 ba.
The end. Okay. Jeff, why don't you get us out of here?
Okay, Pete, we'll be right back.
We're back. And it's time for,
My segment.
that's right. The Big Question with Jeff returns. March 1st edition.
Yes. The
Dramatic
big
pause.
question is, how tall is a fossil raptor?
Still on the dinosaur.
That's another dinosaur question. Hey.
Well,
Oh,
Alex knows everything. Maybe she should answer it.
I think it's a 10-foot long .1.
I believe it's 6 foot tall and 7 inches high.
Think about it.
I was thinking about 6.8.
It's a raft.
It's actually 6.9 and a half.
Mm,
Did you cheat?
No.
No.
Hey, Pete, did you do your research?
Yeah, I did, sir. Velociraptor is a mid-sized dromosaurid with adults measuring up to 2.07 meters or 6 feet 9.5 inches long and a half a meter, 1 foot 7.5 inches high at the hip. So
wow.
seems like a large dog, maybe.
You call Whitney a dog.
I did not call Whitney a dog.
That's what happens.
All right, Jeff, do you have another question?
Yes. It is not about dinosaurs.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh.
Let me think here. The biggest large snowball.
The biggest
Oh. I
Dun's
think
largest
it's a-
snowman. I'm not sure.
I think it's an 89.28 million giant snowball.
I think 9.8, not 8, I meant 7 tall and 66 millimeters of the snowball.
Bigger.
Well.
It's the world's largest, actually. Would you like to know, Jeff?
10,
Yes, Pete.
Would you like to know the answer?
11.
The world's largest Guinness World Record for the largest snowball is 10.04 meters or 32.94 feet in circumference.
Oh,
Rolled by
Wow.
students from ASME Michigan Technological University in Holton, Michigan, USA on March 29th, 2013.
Wow.
That is a large
Wow.
snowball. Jeff, could I get bonus points if I tell you about the world's largest snowball fight?
Yes.
Oh, good. The world record for the most participants in the world's largest snowfall fight took place in Canada in 2016. It had 7,681 participants. So
Wow.
that is quite a few people throwing snowballs at each other. So,
Did everyone get hurt?
did everyone get hurt? I don't think so.
I think
Maybe a couple, but
that if we do a snowball fight and who gets it first, I think Alex.
We'll probably win. You're right, Susie.
I'm with you, Susie. She'd get 2 snowballs.
Who
Or
will get
Whitney. Two.
who would get to lose?
Well, probably me. Where we're going.
Whitney as a witness.
That's not nice.
me as a witness. Jeff, any other questions?
Maybe just one small question.
Ooh,
the
a small
smallest question.
Okay.
Yeah. How small is a squirrel?
This is a plot twist.
I think it depends what type of squirrel.
Actually, I'm gonna take that back.
Okay.
Uh,
So no more questions?
no.
All right. Would you like
Hold
to?
on. The world's
Oh.
smallest squirrel is an African pygmy squirrel, smallest squirrel species in the world. There you go. That's all I got.
What?
All right, Jeff, do you want to take us to break?
Yes, Whitney. We'll be right back.
STRIVECast is brought to you by
Listeners like you.
Emily Rose.
Emily Rose. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks,
you.
Emily.
You
Congrats on your pop singing career.
Emily.
Jeff, want to take us to break?
Yes, Pete. We'll be right back.
We're back. What's the time for now?
Wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap this puppy up.
Wrap America.
Oh, what's the wrap today?
It's a people
People.
versus human. A up with people song and a nice salad bar wrap.
That is the strangest one yet.
Yeah.
And up with people rap.
Up
Ew.
All right, should we thank our guest?
Yes, we should.
Yes, we should.
Alex?
Thank you, Sam, for coming on the show today.
Thanks, Sam. You're
Thank
the
you, Sam.
best.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And Noel, anything you'd like to talk about?
Not really.
Okay. I thought you were going to tell us about saving the date for something.
No, that was the update.
Oh, okay. Then Ryan,
Strive is still hiring, currently with a $500 sign-on bonus. Check out pslstrive.org/employment for employment opportunities with Strive.
Awesome. Nicely said. Nicely done. Well said.
Nicely done.
Okay. Anything else we want to talk about?
I
No.
don't
Thank
think
John Keeley as well for coming
Oh,
on the
good.
show and talking about his fun facts.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you,
was a good
John.
one.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, John.
We talked in our production meeting that the STRIVECast is probably made right here in the USA. And I think we're pretty much done for today.
Oh, and then Strive rocks USA too.
That's right. Good one, Ryan. Good segue.
Go on, right?
Coming right up. Check out our website, striverocks.org, for all the details on how you could get involved.
Yep, people are still hiring.
Yep. All right. See you next week.
Yep.
See you next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.